Hello, Kevin, and welcome back to the Needham channel. Congratulations on surviving your first term and serving as the vice chair of the select board this year. I'm sure you have a lot that you want to share with us. But to start with, for folks who are not following Tom politics closely,
Right.
tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to Needham.
Thank you for having me on this. This is great. My name is Kevin Keane. I'm a longtime resident of Needham. I grew up here. My wife is from Needham. I think that makes it, if you play poker, this is like a full house, that rare, I guess, the hand. And we have 3 kids, 2 in college. My baby is a senior at high school. And I've just been involved in town committees throughout as the kids were growing up. And been in town meeting for about 12 years. And then I ran for select board.
And how's your first term?
Spectacular. It's an amazing job. I would recommend it for everyone, just not right now. And it's been great. And when I first started, it was always, I know it's overused, but we always say it's like drinking from a fire hose. But it kind of was like drinking from a fire hose. I always say it was like getting an MBA in municipal government. And I learned a lot. And it's been really fulfilling because I think we accomplished a lot as well.
Yeah, and share with us some of the major projects and initiatives that you have been involved in.
Okay, well, everything on the select board is collaborative. So it actually matters how well we work together. And so when I say like I accomplished something, well, I guess I did, but I did it with everyone else too. So I don't mean to hog like all full credit, but we did a lot on the environment. We did, we catapulted Needham from basically, a bit of a backwater in environmental issues. We're like a leader in the state now. We're doing electrical aggregation. We did a greenhouse gas study. We've done a sustainability coordinator. We are pushing the town towards electrical vehicles. And we're doing electrical aggregation as well. And, I almost forgot, we're doing the new building code, the opt-in building, specialized building code.
Right.
So that's a big one.
And climate change, and we're always facing like challenges on that topic, especially the flooding issue that happened last year affected lots of households in Needham. What is select board's plan to address this issue?
That is like the perfect dovetail to the whole climate issue. The August 8th rain event was probably Needham's most expensive 90 minutes in its history. And we're going to see more of it, and unfortunately. And for all the people who are affected, I mean, your heart breaks because, some people lost like, $40,000 in the basement and stuff like that. That was not in their business plan. And now we all have to grapple with how do we fortify our houses for climate change, because it will happen again. Plus the fact that these storms are bigger, more spontaneous, harder to forecast, and you just have to be ready. It sounds strange, but we've never had like a catastrophe like this before. But we did declared a state of emergency. We appealed to the state and to the federal government. We got people in to review the damage. Unfortunately, it didn't qualify as disaster enough. But I think we're much more nimble now to figure out how to, next time it happens, to see, we could be much more nimble. So what the town is doing is on 2 fronts. First, we did neighborhood meetings throughout. I think we did 22. I went to 20 of them. And we talked with residents about what happened, the blow-by-blow of the rain event. And also, they also said other rain events that they've been affected by. We looked at the topography and hydrology as water moved through the neighborhood. And then even the town, the building inspector was there, and he talked about like how people could harden their property. So that was going to inform 2 studies. The first is the working group for the bylaw review, to look at stormwater capacity as it affects the building code. Very often houses in Needham are built to the building code, and the building code is silent on what you have to do for flooding or stormwater capacity. If it's not written down, the building inspector can't enforce it. So we're going to have to go back and review that. There have been some houses in Needham, new buildings, that have effectively been built to flood. And it's like, why did that even happen? But when they were built a few years ago, I think people didn't believe this problem was real. So now we know it's real. The other issue is we're going to do a master plan about stormwater capacity, also stormwater quality, but also capacity is tied in to see how water moves through the town. Because actually, one flood over in one neighborhood becomes a flood like 30 minutes later in another neighborhood as the water sort of finds its way to its lowest point to the Charles River. So we have to find the kinks in the system and also ways we can mitigate it. That might be buying the town purchasing land for detention ponds and retention ponds, ways to hold water to so much of the flooding is if we can keep it 1 inch for 1 hour, then maybe people are spared. A lot of people don't realize that the roads in town are actually part of the water system, and that holding flood water in a road is a mechanism to keep it from going on to flooding elsewhere.
What are some of the other progresses in town that's happening that you want to share with the residents?
So housing. We're doing a lot in housing. The Hone Committee, which I'm on, Housing Needham, which is the MBTA Act, that's a really complicated thing. The town Department of Housing and Livable Communities is mandating that towns with public transportation cluster by right development around public transportation. A lot of towns in the Commonwealth are wrestling with it. In Needham's case, it works really well for us. Our commuter rail stations are on Highland Ave and Chestnut Street, right along the commercial retail spine of town. We've always kind of wanted to create a more lively street scene and have mixed use, which is housing. We're just basically doing what we kind of were going towards anyways. So Needham actually manages this fairly easily and remarkably well. And I think Heidi Frail, who's co-chairing, she's my colleague in the select board, she's co-chairing it, the Hone Committee, and she's doing a great job. The other one is Needham Housing Authority is rebuilding Linden Chambers. Needham Housing Authority's facility on Linden Chambers is like 60 or 70 years old. I mean, plumbing doesn't work. There's no ADA compliance. The places are woefully inadequate and too small. So rebuilding that's going to be way overdue and a real plus for the town.
Right. Looking forward to the next term, what are your primary focus area if reelected?
There's a lot coming up. The schools will be Pollard, it'll be Mitchell, it'll be refiguring High Rock, and those are school committee stuff, but it also includes the town because it's town budget, and those will come with overrides as well. Then there's also going to be the streetscape redoing on Great Plain Ave. There's going to be the enormous sewer project along Greendale 128, the length. That's a huge project. There's going to be much more stormwater stuff coming along. And actually, after doing this since September, being on these committee, going to the neighborhood meetings, I feel very well versed in it. So as well, I'm happy to plug in. It's strange, but this is a short term because it's a special election. I was elected. But boy, it went by fast. And I feel like I'm just getting my feet wet. And I certainly want to, it feels like a job that's not complete. And I feel like I finally am getting my legs under me. I understand the position. It is strange that should I get reelected, I'll probably be the chair of the board, which is remarkable because the board it's a very new board. Mary Ann Cooley has the most experience, and the rest of us are under, I'm 2.5 years of experience. Marcus Nelson, has now come to 3 years, a full term, he's stepping off. So we really are, I think, an area of institutional memory. We're a very new board, so I kind of feel like, it sounds strange to say, for years, my second term, I want to bring continuity, but I think when we're in a weird position, that's where we're at.
Right.
And then, the other thing is I ran last time on civil discourse, transparency, openness, and approachability. That's what I ran on. But when I'm in the position, I see like, oh my God, I was absolutely right. Not to pat myself on the back, but they really are. It's the coin of the realm. It's how you judge, how you work with people, is how the relationships are built. And the town really relies on everyone, everyone's oar in the water, and we make this town go forward.
The whole office hour, select board office hour is
How did I
also,
forget that?
yeah, that's also pretty new too. It's
Yeah.
pretty recently.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of that when I came on board, and we put it into effect. We all take a turn it's every month, and the first few times it was a little slow, but now there's a line out the door and down the hallway, and it's great. It's really
Wow.
good to talk to people. Some people come to me and just say, we love office hours. I'll never go, but it's sort of like how they feel about the Arctic Wildlife Refuge in Alaska. They'll never go, but they're really happy it's there. And I think that's sort of a good government thing. People just want to know that is happening, and it's always an option.
Are there any other concerns that you have heard from your constituents that you intend to prioritize?
A lot of interest in the rail trails, a lot of interest in streetscape, about safety on Highland Ave and Webster, and those are sort of teeing up too. So there's a lot coming. I would also say a lot of people sometimes feel like they don't understand what's happening in town. Everything, when they see it happening, is a surprise. And I'm here to dispel that. There's a lot of planning and a lot of positioning and budgeting make things happen in a timely manner. You cannot spend like crazy. There is no safety bag of money somewhere that we can dip into. We live within our means and we live carefully. But we definitely always are sort of trying to plan the next step and the next step. So when people see things happening, it's not like we're reacting. It's actually that we're very deliberately planning, and that's it's a nice way to run government.
Lastly, is there anything else you wanted people to know about your candidacy?
Yeah, about candidacies in general. Democracy really matters. We listen to everything, and we respond to things. I mean, if you say something, we are always trying to figure out, like, how can we activate that? This is your government, and so please embrace it.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin,
My pleasure.
for speaking to me today, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.